I need to get down to Colorado one of these days. I have not been, but I would love to get out there. So, tell us a little about yourself, Jason.
Oh man, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I think it's really great. I love to support all things geospatial, and especially all things related to podcasts and just sort of educating, and it's just really fun. So, man, wow, where to start? I'll just give you the super brief version. So, grew up in Florida, born in Rhode Island, grew up in Florida, went to the Air Force Academy, studied astronautical engineering or rocket science, I guess. Decided that was a little too compartmentalized for my liking. I kind of like more broader stuff. I did, however, when I was at the academy, take one class, and it was fate. Like I had to take it, but I loved it. It was my favorite class. I ended up doing a creative investigation related to it, and just all types of things. And then when I got out of the Air Force, I was a space missile operations officer. When I got out of the Air Force, I wanted to pursue that passion, and luckily, I had an opportunity to do that with a um, a very we'll call him a very affluent mentor of mine. That he was a Native American, Harvard MBA, naval aviator, married to Miss Alabama, like just a total badass. And he wanted to help Native American communities better manage their natural resources using satellite remote sensing. I was like, that sounds amazing. Where do we start? So luckily, it was a time when all the commercial road sensing satellites were starting to pop up, like Iconos at that point, and QuickBird was just launched at that point too, way back when. And we decided to sort of start with natural resource management. We developed several really cool remote sensing algorithms related to wildfire risk management and forestry and water resources. And we thought we're really helping, and we were really helping tribes better manage their resources. So that was really, really cool just to have that cultural experience. That experience took me all over the world. It was really kind of fun. We ended up working with Jane Goodall, and that was really fun working mapping chimpanzee habitat in Gombe National Forest. That was kind of fun, and I actually got to end up getting to present with Lady Jane Goodall in Hyderabad, India, at Map World Forum.
Oh,
And that was like crazy. Um, so it was really I mean, that was very, very early in my career. So I ended up doing that until about maybe 2009 for about yeah, like 6, 7 years. A lot of fun. Grew the company. It was really fun sort of seeing like what we were doing and the impact that we were making and sort of bringing on new people and sort of seeing what that a little bit, this will come back later, but sort of seeing sort of what the chain of folks that are coming out of 4-year GIS remote sensing programs out of colleges, what that pipeline looks like. So more on that later. Then I ended up sort of after that company, sort of the downturn in 2009, kind of everything went, and he had to choose. He had like 8 companies he was running at the same time. Like I said, total badass. He decided 6 of them or 7 of them just needed to go to sort of survive and help his family. So he stayed with his sort of one true love, and that was sort of building and designing conference resorts all over the world. Like I said, really kind of a crazy guy, but really amazing mentor, like taught me so much. And the mentorship will come back later too, because that's a huge thing. So I went back to defense and intelligence. I ended up working as an Air Force guy, working on an Army program on an Air Force base. Weird. As a spectral analyst, so doing hyperspectral and synthetic aperture radar analysis. Did that for about a year. That was also ridiculously boring, but I mean, cool but boring at the same time because it was all ridiculously automated. So there wasn't really a whole lot that needed to be done except for maybe some slight tweaks to code every once in a while. And when I mean every once in a while, I mean every once in a while. But I met a lot of really great people, and that opportunity led me to being able to deploy. So SAIC, we're looking for remote sensing and GIS folks to deploy with their newly minted program. It's an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance program that was going to deploy to Afghanistan in support of coalition forces. And what we were able to do was really kind of fun. It became a program of record, but it was a multi-int or multi-sensor program that allowed us. We would literally go and buy the aircraft from South America, Africa, wherever the aircraft was, and they were getting ready to retire it, completely strip it out, put new equipment in it, integrate the sensors, develop all the procedures, test it. We went to all the national test sites all over the US, test it. Then we get to deploy with it, do its operational run up, and actually operate it for years. And we actually did that 8 times. So we did that with 8 different aircraft. It was super duper fun. That was fun. I was actually in Afghanistan for 3 years. And it was just a really kind of fun journey. It was really interesting. I knew what we were doing was extremely useful for the warfighter and for coalition commanders. And it was just, it was saving lives. So it was really kind of fun, really made an impact. And it was just really cool because we were working with NGA and we were working with a lot of really smart people to pull this program together. And it was just a really cool memory. But one memory that I remember, and this is where sort of the irony of how I got into the drone industry comes along, is one day we were flying along, and I've said this on other podcasts too, so I'll give you the brief version. Every aircraft has a TCAS, or a traffic collision alert system. So I was an airborne mission commander on one of these aircraft. We were flying along. We are near border operation in Pakistan, flying over the Hindu Kush Mountains, and our TCAS went off. That's probably not good because that means you're going to hit something, or in this case, something's going to hit you. Uh, so our pilots were not messing around. Sometimes they mess with us, but this was not a drill or not messing with us. So or to wake us up or whatever. And I looked over, I was the mission commander facing the rear aircraft towards all the servers and all the other operators. And I looked over the right wing, and about 30 meters off the wing was a Reaper UAV climbing through our airspace. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen one of those things in real life, but it's about as big as your house. So they're big and definitely could cause, that would have been catastrophic. So that was probably the only real risk I had. I mean, there was rocket attacks every day and things like that, but this was yeah, blue on blue, our own asset climbing through our airspace. We didn't even know it was there. That being said, that same week, here's where the irony comes in. That same week, I got a phone call from a new commercial drone operations startup, an analytics startup in Raleigh, North Carolina called Precision Hawk. And they were looking for someone like me to help lead their analytics division, to help build out sort of what those deliverables and analytic platform would look like for their customers going forward. That was awesome. It got me out of Afghanistan. I moved to North Carolina, and what was really kind of fun, what was the irony there is the thing that almost killed me is now the thing that I'm doing. So that's fun. Ended up working with them for about 5 years. That was a fun ride. It was definitely like a VC mode on steroids, complete with the, $80,000 one night parties, crazy. But that was a lot of fun. Met a lot of amazing people there. Really got my hands dirty with understanding all of the different applications of drones throughout the world. Get to travel worldwide. Got to work with in almost every industry vertical you can possibly think of and develop solutions for them. Brought on data scientists that were way smarter than me to develop super amazing technology. And that was a fun ride. Then I moved to Colorado. I had to come back home. I love it here. I will likely never leave. And then so I left Precision Hawk, ended up working with a few other smaller drone service providers. And that was also very rewarding, a little bit more niche work, but great people. That's kind of a theme. Working with great people is an amazing thing. So then COVID hit, still working for the same company. The company took a little bit of a hit, but now we're all at home. So during that time at home, I did 2 things. I started a podcast and started a nonprofit. And I'm sure we'll talk about those. So the podcast, that's kind of been an interesting story so far. I know that was a lot, probably more than you were expecting, but I've had a really fun career. It's been amazing. And I think a lot of what I'm doing now is just trying to really give back.